Evan Thomas is one of 10 Humboldt Broncos killed in the crash, and today his father opened up to CBC News at their family home in Saskatoon. Here's Susan Ormiston.
So tell me about what's on this table. It's an interesting collection.
His first goal from his SJHL career.
Scott Thomas wants people to know his son Evan, 18 years old, in his first season with the Broncos.
His sense of humor, his humility, his passion for life that he had. He would have found a way to make his mark, probably something that required a lot of brain power, but he would have made his mark in some field that would have utilized the potential he had between his ears, that's for sure.
Evan was smart. He loved KD, baseball, and hockey.
His name tag from his dressing room, the stick that was left behind, mustn't have been his gamer, probably his practice stick. That was left behind, we got from the dressing room.
Last Friday night, he was on the Broncos team bus. Scott was in a car 45 minutes behind.
We pulled up to the accident site. By the time we got there, the fire trucks and the police were there, and the bubbles and the flashing blue lights. So we get out, and Paul LaBelle was right behind me, and of course we go running up and they stop us and can't go any further, and you could see it was bad.
He was with another parent, Paul LaBelle.
A police officer met us there and said, sorry fellas, we can't let you go any further, there's been casualties. And we're like, well, yeah, but our sons are there, we gotta go. Our sons are on that bus. And he's like, no, sorry, can't let you go. Paul was like, well, what the hell, what happened here? Like, how does this happen? It's a beautiful sunny day, the roads are clear, there's no snow. And the police officer said, well, semi-driver blew right through the stop sign. He said he couldn't see it because the sun was in his eyes. And Paul looks over his shoulder and I look over my shoulder, and this is just my opinion, but the sun wasn't in his eyes.
Scott could see the front of the bus, obliterated, the roof ripped off, and he knew from years of hockey that rookies always sat towards the front.
So when we pulled up and I saw the front of the bus was gone, I think my head knew right there. My heart didn't. Of course you hope and you hope and you go and you sit in the church and you hope, and most of the families are there, and all the veterans' parents start getting phone calls, we got your boy, come to the hospital. You get a little deeper, and at the end of the night it's mostly the rookies' parents there, and then of course the police had the conversations with us.
The parents were warned there were so many injuries they might not recognize their sons, but Scott could.
He had a very distinctive birthmark, just a little one on his right cheek. And I remember clear as day, in the bathroom back there, he'd been just after he started school. And he comes running in up to the mirror and takes his finger and he's trying to wipe his birthmark off. And I'm like, buddy, what's up with that? He's like, well, Dad, the kids are kind of bugging me about it. And I said, well, that's you. That makes you who you are. And he never, ever brought it up again. But I never thought I'd be using that birthmark to identify his body. I'm a chiropractor, and so I know a little bit about the human body, and so I'm feeling as much as I can with my hands, and felt his head, and we could see that there's some head trauma. I knew right there that he had skull fractures.
As he looked at his son, he was reassured that he did not suffer out there that night.
Kissed him, kept telling him that I loved him, and that's probably all I said to him then.
The Thomas house has been overrun with friends and flowers. Yesterday, Braden Camrood, one of the injured players, was able to fill Scott in on the last moment in that bus.
Braden remembers just changing songs on his phone or something and looking up, debating whether he should get his suit on. And he just happened to put an eye on Evan, who had just put his tie on and ran his fingers through his hair, and Braden said everything went black after that.
How do you rationalize what happened?
I've stopped trying.
What do you think that Evan would want you to do now and your family?
Just knowing him, he'd be like, really, Dad? What are you making such a big production out of this for? You know, like, this is way too much of a production. Just get on with it already. Get on with your life. I'm almost guaranteed that's what he would say.
Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Saskatoon.